2020 at ATMs that were no longer working, that you took out a document and that document was already completed, the statement was already made, that certain pages thereof were not stamped and were eventually stamped at Moroka Police Station, that accused number 2 was forced to put his thumbprint on those pages. Now, the question is this: how many pages does the statement that accused number 2 made before Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu on the 19th of June 2020 consist of?
So the pro forma, my lord, consists of 6 pages, and the statement itself is 2 pages, my lord. So it's an 8-page document.
Statement lesi ebathi ngalesikhathi ufika lapha na kunama ATM abekade engasebenzi. Leso statement leso sinama page angaki, uthi incwadi le egcwaliswa ngaphambi kokuthi kube naleso statement yona inama page ayisithupha, bese ama page we statement sona ngokwaso ama page amabili.
Now, Brigadier, the suggestion here is that you came with the document, the 2-page document of a version that was concocted.
No, but that's not true, my lord. As I indicated earlier, that I only met Colonel Rapadu a day or two days later at Enadale ACPS, where he gave me this document, my lord, and subsequently his statement. That was the first time I actually laid eyes on him other than talking to him on the phone. So I never met him with this form or came with any form anyway, whether be it the police station itself or the ATM area they're referring to.
Manje ke kuthiwa wena uzenywe incwadi eyokuthi ibikade ibhalwe izinto ekungasizona uthi cha ubrigadier yena uye wathola lencwadi le ku Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu ehlangana naye eSphoyiseni, ubekade eqala ke ukuhlangana naye eSphoyiseni ngaleso sikhathi ngaphandle kokuthi wayekade ekhulume naye ocingweni.
Now, Mr. Mgumuzulu further put it to that accused number 2 was forced to put a thumbprint on each of those pages that you mentioned, those 8 pages or so. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So, my lord, I was not there. Like I said, what I received from Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu was a statement, the pro forma together with this attachment, complete, not in pieces. A day or 2 days later, when I met him for the first time, there was no indication that 2 sets of documents were given. I got 1 set from him, but prior to that, I have not come across him at any time of my life, my lord.
Njengoba kuthiwa nginikwe amaphepha ahlukile, cha akulona iqiniso Nkosi yenkantolo, ngoba mina ngithole amaphepha ebekade ehlangene kusuka kuye uLieutenant Colonel Rapadu, bengade ngiqala nokuhlangana naye futhi nalamaphepha unginike wona ahlangene.
Except for the version about the thumbprints, nothing was put to you regarding the signature. Is the document signed?
Yes, it is signed, my lord, by the Colonel Colonel Rapadu and the deponent, which is supposed to be accused too, because it's a signature next to his thumbprint, my lord.
Manje ke ngaphandle kwa lesithupha ummangalelo wesibini athi yena uphoqiwe ukuthi asibeke kulesa statement, kusayiniwe na uthi yebo kusayine uColonel Rapadu nalo muntu obekade ekhuluma lesi statement ekuwummangalelo wesibili.
On which pages?
So on all pages, my lord. Signed the same page, in other words, from page 1 to page 8, it's a thumbprint. Next to it, there's a signature. Colonel Rapadu also signed. So you see that from page 1 right up to the last page. There's no break of sequence, my lord. It's a flow of events.
wonke ama-page asayiniwe futhi kunesithupha esibekiwe khona lapho.
Now, it was put to you regarding the events of the 21st of June 2020, it was put to you that you met accused number 2 at Primrose Police Station, that you apologized to him.
Sorry, point of correction. My lord, I've made a correction when the witness was still testifying. After I took proper instruction, I corrected myself to mean Pretoria North.
So you're trying to apologize at Pretoria North Police Station?
That's correct. Not
Yes,
at
Mr.
Primrose.
Well, I don't remember that correction, but be
I
that,
remember it.
be that as it may, it was put to you that you approach the accused now, according to what Mr. Mgumezulu says, at Pretoria North Police Station on the 21st of June 2020, that you apologize to him for having been assaulted, that is now for accused number 2 having been assaulted, and that you offered him 3 million rand.
So, my lord, my response is that that is not correct, because the first part, the confession was already made on the 19th. That is the first part of this. There was a confession. My first engagement with the accused, my lord, accused 2, was on the 18th, where there was clear indication of his confession. Subsequent to that, on the 19th, a formal confession was made by him. So that's the flow of events, my lord. Thirdly, my apologies, my lord. On the 19th, in the evening, subsequent to the docket of possession of ammunition being opened, he was charged in Phuket, transferred to Primrose, not Pretoria North. The OBs, we've read those OB, my lord, they're available, we've shown them to the defense. From Phuket, my lord, he was never taken to Pretoria North. There are entries that shows that he was detained in Primrose Police Station on the 20th in the morning hours by Sergeant Mokhane. The following day, which is now the 21st, he was still in Primrose, and Sergeant Mokhane formally charged him on the OB. There's also an entry that has been disclosed to the defense. I was not there. There's an entry that shows that Sergeant Mokhane at Primrose, not Pretoria Road, not charged him for the Phuket case. And subsequently, on the 22nd, he appeared for the first time in Phuket Magistrate Court. So I was not there, my lord, and there was no such offer made by me. Like I said, my lord, it's unethical, it is unlawful. I don't even know, I can't even comprehend the reason why would you offer a suspect that money. He confessed, my lord. Even if he did not confess, that would have been his right to remain silent. There is no way that I even had access to that money in terms of the police budget in any event. But even if it was there, my lord, it's something that is unethical, unlawful, and something that I will never do. I've heard stories, my lord, of officials and government officials being accused of corruption. In other words, the corruptor being perhaps the member of the public. This is the first in my whole career where I've had a police officer like us offering money to an accused of that magnitude. I'm shocked, my lord, but it is not true. That is the essence of it.
So are you saying, sorry, you're saying the traffic is the other way?
It is the other way, my lord. And the statistics of corruption, even if you look at the Zondo Commission, if you look at the crime stats that we have as the police, it's the other way. It's the service providers, it's the members of the public who are bribing government officials, SAPS officials. That's why I'm sitting with matters where there's such cases. I have never, I'm talking about me, my lord, seen, especially this amount of money, where police officers, investigators are offering money to an accused who has already confessed. I don't know what is the purpose. He has already confessed, he implicated his co-accused and his willingness to cooperate. Subsequent to that, my lord, he does indeed cooperate with us. And then he goes and make the confession to the magistrate. So I
Upendula ke ubrigadier kulombuzo ukuthi uye wafika yena kumsolo wesibini ezoxolisa njengoba ubekade untanzi ese-Pretoria North njengoba umnumzana uMngomezulu asho uthi cha into yokuqala akazange abe ePretoria North uma kusuka ePhukeng uye wayisiwa ePrimrose la ukuthi langa elilandelayo uSergeant Mokhane uye wamthusa amaqala wayovela ePhukeng futhi uthi akazange yena ayoxolisa ngendaba yokushawa kukaMangalelwa yena akazange ayazi indaba yokushawa kaMangalelwa futhi nalolu daba lemali le3 million uthi cha yena uyaqala ukuyizwa kahle kahle wazi ukuthi kunokuthi abantu kube yibona abafisa ukunika amaphoyisa imali hayi ukuthi amaphoyisa anike abantu imali futhi bekuzoba yini isizathu sokuthi afune ukunika uNtanzi imali ngemva kokuthi uNtanzi bese seyena ngokwakhe esekegunyulukile sekachaze nokuthi yena uzimisele nokuthi angasebenzisana nabo amaphoyisa sekatshele nokuthi abobani abantu ayikuthi badlale indima kuleli cala futhi yena ke uyachaza uthi ayikaze yayenzeka ngeke yenzeke ayikho emthethweni futhi naye ngeke ayivumele.
When did we hear about this allegation for the first time?
For the first time, it was when counsel for accused 2 put it to me. It was the first time. It was never ever said to me, my lord. And that was, I think, on the last day of his cross-examination, my lord. Last week, I think, his last day. That was the first time I heard about it, my lord.
Uqaleni nokuzwa lolu daba uthi ngiqale ukuluzwa okokuqala ngalesikhathi ummeli kaMangalelwa wesibini engibuza imibuzo ngiyacabanga ukuthi iviki elidlulile ngalesikhathi umnumzana uMngomezulu aqedelela ngemibuzo yakhe.
Well, still on this subject, that the offer was, according to the question that was put by Mr. Mngomezulu, made on the 21st of June 2020. I just want to show you Exhibit QQ. It's already in record, but where was the accused detained? Firstly, on Saturday, the 20th.
He was detained at Primrose ACPS, my lord. By Sergeant Mokhane, sorry.
uMangalelwa yena wayekade egcinwe phi nge20 uthi bekagcinwe ePrimrose uSergeant Mokhane.
And what is the relevant entry?
So it's the relevant entry, my lord, it's 713, and the time of detention is 0040. In other words, my lord, 20 to 1 in the morning.
La ke kuye kwabhalwa khona mizuzu emashumi amabini ngaphambi kwehora lokuqala ntathabusa kula kwabhalwa ke ukuthi umsolwa yena uyafakwa ke esiphoyiseni sase Primrose.
Then, my lord, on the 21st, it's 21 June 2020, the entry there is 2029. It says suspect charged by Sergeant Mokhane. That is now in relation to this the Phukeng case 118 of 6/2020. That's Sergeant Mokhane who charged him at Primrose Police Station. And subsequent to that, my lord, in the morning of the 22nd, he was then booked out from Primrose Police Station to Phukeng. Nowhere was he ever at Pretoria North on those days, from the 19th to the 22nd, my lord.
Bese ke futhi ngesonto i21 zika June 2020 kulayi ukuthi umsolwa yena wayekade ekhona lapha ePrimrose wayisiwa ke ngomsombuluko enkantolo yase Phukeng.
And the relevant entry, my lord, insofar as the booking out, when Sergeant Mokhane was taking him to court, it was 2065, and the time was 07:15. That's when Sergeant Mokhane booked out accused 2 to Phukeng Magistrate Court.
Futhi ke kulayi ukuthi uye wabhala ke uSergeant Mokhane isikhathi bekuyimizuzu e15 ngemva kwehora lesikhombisa ekuseni ngalesikhathi ekhipha umsolwa amisa esiphoyise enkantolo yasePhukeng.
And the date, my lord, is the 22nd of June 2020. That's when he was taken to Phukeng Magistrate Court.
Ilanga ke bekuyi 22 zika June ngomsombuluko ngalesikhathi emisa kwamantshi wasePhukeng.
Thank you, Brick. Then on Friday, when we were listening to the audio, towards the end, on the 5th of March 2021, Mr. Nkwana, who had just taken over the defense of accused number 2, and he was also appearing for accused number 3. And it was also put in record yesterday when the transcripts were made available. There was an allegation that accused number 2 and 3 are complaining of assaults.
Yes.
Was there any action taken regarding that complaint?
Yes, indeed, my lord. So I will start back in 2021. Subsequent to that, my lord, I requested the facts, the explanation, or should I say maybe the statement, my lord, or the information regarding the alleged offense of torture in relation to accused number 2 and number 3, because my recollection, those were the people, according to Mr. Nkwane, who claimed, and accused number 2 said it himself. Now, that report never came, my lord. So, but what I then did, I coordinated with the Department of Correctional Services to check in their registers and obviously provide such information in writing if there are any assault reported, because at that time, my lord, accused 2 was detained at the Department of Correctional Services, not at the police station in Phuket. That's where he came from, and then he came to court. When he was received in the court books on that day, the 5th of March 2021, there was no reporting of assault in the court cells itself, which is the same situation which accused number 3. Now, I made those inquiries, my lord, they were negative. In other words, there was no such reporting both from the police and the DCS. Then, my lord, subsequent fast tracking to where we are, after we listened to the recordings of those days, my lord, I embarked on the same exercise again. I spoke to the head of the center, the current head of the center in CIMEX where accused 3 is detained, and also the head of the center where accused 2 was detained at that time. Both disposed affidavits, signed affidavit and commissioned that there was no such reports of assault in their books, and that was brought to their attention. Actually, accused, the head of the center for CIMEX prison, he even says he went, and that is now the previous Saturday, to even interview accused number 3 and said, there's this allegation in court, were you ever assaulted? And that was denied. That is contained.
Yes.
That is going to be hearsay. Even accused number 3 does not feature in this trial within the trial. It's totally irrelevant in respect of accused number 3. And in any event, testimony being given amounts to hearsay.
If you can just confine yourself about what you have just yourself established. You mentioned that you obtained the affidavits,
Yes.
and we can put on record that these affidavits have been made available to the defense.
Yes, they are made available, my lord. That clearly states that there was no assault reported then on the 5th of March 2020.
Thank you.
And the OB for the cells, my lord, is also available, which we've made available to the defense. That shows that even in the court registers itself, on that specific day, there was no entry of assault.
Thank you.
Ummeli uNkwane uye wakhuluma enkantolo ukuthi abamangalelwa umangalelo wesibini nowesithathu bona bathi bashayiwe. Uthi ubrigadiri njengoba bekade kulalelwe la ngolwesihlanu uye wathatha inyathelo yena ukuthi ayohlola noma ayokhuluma nalaba abaphethe amajele la abamangalelwa bahleli khona. Ukhulumile nalowa seSIMEX wakhuluma nala uNtanzi ehleli khona. Uthi baye babhala i-statement futhi lezo i-statement uzinikile abameli kulezo i-statement bayaphika ukuthi uNtanzi no mangalelo wesithathu bashayiwe. Uthi nalezo i-statement lezo zikhona azinike abameli la bakhulume khona babhale ukuthi abazange bashawe lamadoda.
And just lastly, Brigadier, during cross-examination by Mr. Mgumezulu, he asked you as to whether you had prior knowledge or your team had prior knowledge of the case docket, First Lores 534-6/2020, and your answer was yes. There were previous, there were persons of interest. We did cold case analysis around them. We approached them. We were aware that they are suspect in the Senzo Meiwa case. Now, the question is, can you clarify if, and you've put on record the sentence that Piniselani Buthelezi received? You mentioned that he was convicted on several counts, and the sentences imposed on those counts. Can you clarify whether this is a separate docket, that is now the docket on which Piniselani Buthelezi was sentenced, whether it's a separate docket from Nongoma 1634 of 2018?
No, it is the same, my lord. So the one that he was sentenced on, it's Nongoma 163, that one of 2018 in March, my lord. That's the matter he was sentenced on, my lord.
Ukhulumile ngokugcwala ngalolu daba lika Qiniselani Buthelezi ake uqhazisele ukuthi yena ugwetshwe kuleli cala elihlukile naleli la kwaNongoma uthi cha lona icala la kwaNongoma la agwetshwe khona.
But one should also add, my lord, that docket was going with various dockets, so it was not just one docket. It's that case number, the number of dockets. Sergeant Mokane will know, but in essence, my lord, that Nongoma case, he's got a conviction on that matter.
Futhi ke itingcwalisele nokuthi akusukuthi idokodo elilodwa elizimele elakwaNongoma, kunamanye amadokodo abekade hambisana nalo lelo dokodo. Usergeant Mokane uyena ongakwazi ukulichaza kangcono.
Thank you, my lord. Those are the only aspects we wanted to take up with the witness.
Okay. Have you ever been to Orlando, sir? Orlando East?
Yes, my lord. I've been to Orlando East and West, my lord.
And Orlando West?
Both sides, my lord, yes.
Now, I'm asking this because you say you don't know of any place where there are disused or where there were disused ATM machines.
That is correct, my lord. There's none that I know. I mean, the open field that I can think of in Orlando between East and West, you will think of one next to the Orlando Stadium, because there's a river there.
Squatter camp there.
Squatter camp, my lord. But even there, in that vast open space, I have never. I grew up there, like I said, my lord. I did my first year all the way up to matric in Soweto. I've never come across that. Even when I was working, there's no such that I've seen, my lord.
Just a dumping place in Orlando. Have you ever seen one?
I know the one above Mufulo South. You know, they used to call it Colliard or something like that. I can't recall, my lord.
You're talking Mfulo South?
Yeah, so if you pass Mufulo South, when you used to
Is that
go-
at the vocational?
Yes. There was one that side.
The court was born in Sophia Town. It grew up in Alexander Township. And in 1960, family was transmitted to Deep Kloof. And this judge got married and stayed in Orlando West. So this court has got intimate knowledge about Orlando East, Orlando West, Mfulo South, etc., etc. So that's why I want to see, maybe the gentleman is wrong. There is a dumping place in Orlando.
Not that I'm aware of, my lord. That's why I said if you go to vocational rate, my lord, leaving from Mufulo South, coming from White Seat, Mufulo South, going up, basically going to Nansfield, there was a dumping area on the right-hand side before you turn to vocational. In Orlando, my lord, I really have no recollection of that, my lord.
Yabuza inkantolo ukuthi ubrigadier uyayazi na iOrlando. Brigadier uthi uyayazi Orlando North, iOrlando West neOrlando East. Uthi ukhulele eSoweto njengoba selachazile uqala isikolo khona waqeda khona. Yena akaze wabona indawo la kulahlwa khona ama-ATM noma ama-ATM angasebenzi. Iyabuza inkantolo ukuthi uyazi na mhlawumbe indawo la kulahlwa khona na. Uthi mhlawumbe ngasesigangeni lesi esiseduze kweOrlando Stadium kodwa akulahlwa ama-ATM. Enye futhi uchaza ngale ngasemfulo la ukuthi ikhona enye indawo la kulahlwa khona izibi kodwa uthi akulahlwa ama-ATM kuyo leyo ndawo leyo. Chaza futhi nokuthi uma sisoyehla uza ngaseNansfield eHostel nalapho mhlawumbe kungaba nesiganga kodwa akusukuthi kulapha ama-ATM. Inkantolo iyachaza nayo ukuthi izalelwe khona ngale ngaseSoweto, yakhula yaya ngase-Alexandra, yabuya yashada futhi naseSoweto. Inkantolo ithi iyayazi leya ndawo, akusukuthi mhlawumbe inkantolo ayiyazi, beyifuna nje ukubona ukuthi ubrigadier uyayazi le ndawo.
Well, in addition, I attended school at Orlando High,
Jike
I know
inkantolo
Orlando High, my
and I played for Orlando Pirates at Orlando. So I'm familiar with it. And we used to train in Orlando towards where it meets Deep Blue,
Yes.
sporting grounds, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
And I was an athlete representing Southern Transvaal in hurdles. 880 in a mile. Okay. No, fine. It's just for my curiosity because I don't think it's consequential, that thing, concerning me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, thanks. Are you finished?
I'm done, my lord. Yes,
Okay.
I'm done, yes, ma'am.
All right. Sir.
There's a good place. Thank you, Brigadier.
usekaqedile ubrigadier Gininda.
Sorry, there's one aspect. I said all the councils would address me as to whether a recording, staggered recording of a television clip can form part of the record of this court. Are you saying you are abandoning it?
That was my understanding that
After-
the audio and the transcripts have
Being
resolved.
supplied, so there's no necessity for that.
But they can, I think, speak for themselves.
Is that so?
That is the position, my lord.
Everybody says that is the position. Okay, fine. Yeah.
May I be excused, my lord? Okay, thank you.
The what?
Brigadier uyacelela ukuthi ucela ukuthi inkantolo imkhulule, inkantolo
Before the
iyamkhulula.
witness is excused, was it a question that was posed to the witness arising from the court's question?
About me playing for Orlando Pirates?
No. The first question that the court asked
This question was it, sir?
about the ATMs in Orlando.
Well, that's why I say he's given his evidence about that. I just wanted to understand whether there was a dumping place or not. He says there isn't. We can proper argument about that. No problem. I'm not making a definitive finding to say there are no ATMs. I'm just asking this witness because I'm familiar. I can take judicial notice of that place to say where there could be a dumping place for ATMs.
Thank you.
Okay.
There are no further questions.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Maloney.
As a court, please, my lord. The state calls the next witness is Colonel Swanepoel. The witness is not on the witness list, my lord.
Colonel Swanepoel.
Yes.
Okay.
The witness is going to testify in respect of a new exhibit that we've marked exhibit NN1. These are the extracts of the occurrence book at Silverton Police Station for the period 3 July 2020 and 10 July 2020. He's also going to testify in respect of a cell register. We've marked this exhibit NN in brackets 2. And the witness is also going to refer to national instructions. We've just, for the sake of convenience, we not included them in the bundle, but we haven't marked those national instructions. We don't think it's necessary to hand them as an exhibit.
The councils have they been given these documents
Yes,
timeously?
Yes, they were given those documents yesterday, my lord.
You are aware of these documents, councils? Mr. Minister doesn't know anything about these documents.
No, they were all given the bundle yesterday.
Mr. Ngumalo, do you know anything about this documents?
I've received them yesterday. Thank you.
Ms. Mchololo?
Yes, my lord, I did.
Ms. Nisi,
We received that.
you what?
I received that.
Okay, and Mr. Mgomezulu, did you receive?
It's received.
Okay, thank you. All right, may you swear the witness in then? Wat het taal gaan die getuige in? English. Okay,
Do you have any objection in taking that oath?
No.
And if you so swear, do you swear that the evidence you are going to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, nothing else but the truth? If you do, please raise your right hand and say, so help you God.
So help me God.
Witness is sworn in, my Lord. Manje ngisheshisa ubiza omunye ufakazi uColonel Uswane Mkhulu.
You are a colonel in the South African Police, is that correct?
That's correct.
Uthi yebo uColonel esiphoyiseni sala eMzantsi Afrika.
Where are you attached currently?
I'm currently the station commander at Pretoria Moed Police Station.
Uyi station commander ePretoria Moy Police Station.
How many years service do you have in the South African Police?
41 years service.
Sekaneminyaka amashumi amane nanye ulibele kuyiphoyisa.
Can you put your career history on record?
Thank you. I joined the South African Police Service in 1983 when I went to college. After that, I was placed at Johannesburg Central. At the time it was called John Foster Square.
Just a minute to give the interpreter
Uthi
change.
ke yena uqale esiphoyiseni ngo-1983 yena wabekwa esiphoyiseni sase-Johannesburg Central ngalesa sikhathi yayikaze ibizwa i-John Foster Square.
And after that, in 1986, I was placed at the Regional Commissioner's Office of Johannesburg.
Ngemva kwalapho kulaye ukuthi yena uye wabekwa ehhovisi lesiphoyisa lesivinini i-Regional Office.
And then in 1988, I was transferred to the regional office in Pretoria.
Ngo-1988 yena watransferelwa ke khona e-Regional Office yase-Pretoria.
And then in 1992, I became a lieutenant in the South African Police Service and was placed at Wonderboompoort Police Station as station commander.
Ngo-1992 yena waba lieutenant kulaye ukuthi wabekwa khona esiphoyiseni sase-Wonderboom.
And then in 2003, I was transferred as the station commander at Eersterus Police Station.
Ngo-2003 waba i-station commander sase-Eersterus Police Station.
And then in 2010, I was placed at Kameeldrift Police Station as the station commander.
Ngo-2010 wabekwa ke esiphoyiseni sase-Kameeldrift njenge-station commander.
So, Colonel, between 2003 and 2010, you were the station commander of Eersterus Police
That's
Station.
correct.
Yebo ngo-2003 fikela ku-2010 angikade ngise-Eersterus.
Yes.
And then in 2016, I was promoted to the rank of colonel, and I was placed at Silverton Police Station as the station commander.
Ngo-2016 yena wathola ke i-promotion waba u-colonel, waba u-station commander. In which police station is that?
Silverton.
Silverton.
And then in 23, I was placed as the station commander of Pretoria Moed Police Station.
Ngo-2023 kulaye ukuthi uye wabekwa khona ePretoria North Moed Police Station.
So, just how many years were you the station commander of Silverton Police Station?
It was it was 7 years.
Uhleli laphaya esiphoyiseni sase-Silverton njenge-station commander iminyaka eyisikhombisa.
So, all in all, Colonel Swanepoel, from 1992 until currently, you have been station commander of various police stations.
That's correct, my lord.
kusukela ngo-1992 kufikela manje ulibele kuyi-station commander sama-police station ahlukile.
Now, can you explain to the court, are the official documents that are kept at the police station?
Yes, they are official documents kept at the police station.
Akhona amaphepha asemthethweni ayikuthi aye abekwe ema-police station uthi yebo.
Yes, what are those documents?
It is all documents pertaining to the police station itself. It's including the SAPS 10, the occurrence book, where all incidents are reported in. It is the,
Just a minute.
Uthi-ke amaphepha abekwa laphayana amaphepha wonke wesiphoyisa ahlanganisa futhi ne-occurrence book, i-OB.
then also the SAPS 13, where all exhibits is handed in.
Futhi na le ncwadi ekuthi wonke ubufakazi uma bifika buyaye bubekwe kuwo.
And then the SAP 14, that is a cell register, where all the detention people that's detained at the police station is captured.
Futhi nencwadi ekuthi uma abantu beze banama cellphone bafike kubhaliswe kuyo.
And there's different other registers that is kept, for example, the accident report registers and all the other registers pertaining to policing at the police station.
Bese ke kuba nencwadi uma mhlawumbe kunengozi eyenzakele bese bona bayaya njengesiphoyisa futhi nalezo incwadi zikhona esiphoyiseni.
Well, for our purposes, we can just confine ourselves to the SAP 10, the occurrence book, and SAP 14, the cell register. You've already mentioned that the purpose of the occurrence book is to record the incident. So what is the procedure when recording such incidents?
My lord, every time a person reports on duty, it is captured in the occurrence book, as well as the handing over of the CSC, the Community Service Center programs that's handed over in the occurrence book.
Manje ke umsebenzi wale ncwadi ebizwa i-OB ukuthi umuntu uma engena emsebenzini uyaye agcwalise kuyo ukuthi sekafikile futhi nezehlakalo noma igameko ezenzakala uma kulibele kusetshenzwa laphayana la kuvulwa khona amacala e-CSC nakho kuyaye kubhalwe khona la.
If a person is arrested or detained at the police station, it's also captured in the SAPS 10, the occurrence book.
Umuntu uma eboshiwe noma egcinwe esiphoyiseni khona lapho kuyaye kubhalwe futhi nakuyo i-OB.
Then, if the person is visited in the cells, if the cell visit is conducted, it's also mentioned in the SAP and captured in the SAP 10, the occurrence book.
Nomuntu uma evakashelwe esemaseleni yena kuyabhalwa futhi nakwi-OB ukuthi uvakashelwe lo muntu.
Now, these cell visits, what do they consist of?
The cell visit is usually done by one or two members. The members that go and visit the cells make sure that the detainees that's currently in the cell and is written in the SAP 14 are still in the cells, and that the cells is in a good condition.
Just a minute, just
Kuyaye
talk a little
ukuthi
bit and give the interpreter chance.
kuyaye ukuthi umuntu uma esemaseleni bese kuza iphoyisa lize lizohlola ukuthi lo muntu lo usasekhona na emaseleni, iseli lelo lisase ngendlela elungile, iseli lelo lisalungele ukuthi umuntu angahlala kulo.
And then also, if everything is still in order with the pertaining to the detainees in the cells, if there is any injuries or any sicknesses in the cells.
Bese uyabhala nokuthi laphayana emaselini yonke into isalungile, mhlawumbe kunokuthi umuntu uyagula elaphaya emaselini.
Yes. And the the cell register,
The cell register,
SAP 14?
SAP is 14. It's dealing with the people that's detained at the police station.
manje le i-cell register ikhuluma ngabantu abavalelwe laphaya e-police station
And it's divided into certain columns, starting with the serial number and then the name and surname of the detainee.
yona inemiqa ehlukile iqala nge-serial number bese kubhalwa amagama ney'bongo zakhe umuntu lo oboshiwe
As well as the date of arrest, date and time of arrest,
ubhalwe nesikhathi nelanga leli aboshwe ngalo
and also the reason for detention.
kubhalwe nesizathu ukuthi uvalelwe ngani ngasiphi isizathu
As well as the case number pertaining to that specific detainee.
kubhalwe-ke ne-case number eyakhe lo muntu lo oboshiwe
And then also the date and time the person was admitted to the cells.
bese kuyabhalwa nelanga nesikhathi la umuntu afakwe khona emaselini
There's also space for the notice, in terms of the Constitution, the notice of rights that's issued to the detainee.
kunendawo futhi la kubhalwa khona ngamalungelo wakhe lo muntu lo ovalelwe
Also a space for OB number for that his next of kin was informed and he had the opportunity to find his next of kin and his legal representative.
kunesigaba futhi la ukuthi kuyabhalwa ukuthi lo muntu lo uye wathola ithuba nalo ukuthi angashayela ucingo kumuntu wakubo noma ummeli wakhe
Now, you mentioned that there's a space for the notice of rights. What information is entered regarding the notice of rights in the cell register?
The notice of rights is a serial controlled register that's issued to each police station. That serial control notice is then issued to each detainee that's detained at the police station.
manje ke kunenombolo yokuthi amaphoyisa anikwe wona uma beletha umuntu lapha estokisini bese kwamele babhale leyo nombolo enikewa wonke umuntu ofakwa lapha emaselini
And the serial number thereof, is it documented anyway?
It's documented in the SAPS 14 in the relevant column.
i-serial number nayo iyabhalwa kuyo leyo ncwadi leyo
Yes, and who may make entries in the occurrence book, the SAP 10?
It's only the person posted in this CSC, the Community Service Center, or if the cells is separate from the Community Service Center, the person that is posted in the cell complex.
ubani umuntu onegunya lokubhala kule OB kuthiwa yilo muntu osebenza laphaya e-CSC la kuvulwa khona amacala umphakathi wonke evula khona amacala umuntu obekwe lapho noma umuntu ozayo ezoletha umuntu othize
Now, are the procedures in place when a person is detained at the cells who is injured?
If there's injuries on a person that's detained, the arresting officer must immediately, before he detain that person, establish if that person needs urgent medical attention, and that person will then be taken for medical treatment.
uma ingabe umuntu elethwa ekuthi udinga ukunyangwa noma edinga ukubona udokotela kwamele lo muntu omlethayo abhale ukuthi lo muntu loyo udinga ukubona udokotela
And if the person is brought to the police station and the relief commander or the cell commander finds that the person is injured, he must immediately also arrange for medical treatment.
nomuntu mhlawumbe uma elethwe estokisini laphayana bese iphoyisa eliphumayo lingamcebisanga lo ongenayo kwamele naye uma engena abheke ukuthi lo muntu lo mhlawumbe udinga ukuthi ayobona udokotela bese amenzela ukuthi lo muntu loyo aye ayohlola udokotela.
If a person is injured or he's got an illness and he must be treated by a medical practitioner, SAPS 70 is issued for that specific detainee, and that goes with the detainee to the relevant doctor or the medical facility.
Uma ingabe ke lo muntu loyo ulimele lo olethwa emaselini, uma ingabe ulimele kunencwadi ekuthi nakhona iyagcwaliswa lo muntu loyo bese uyaya ayobona udokotela noma ayisiwe esibhedlela.
The SAPS 70 is also a serial controlled register, and that serial number is also written in the SAPS 14 in the relevant column.
Futhi kuyo leyo ncwadi leyo akhona ama serial number ekuthi ayabhalwa nawo afakwa khona lapho la kunesigaba sokubhala ama serial number.
Now, if a person comes to the police station with injuries, will that person be allowed under any conditions to be detained at the police station?
If a person comes with injuries, he must be either taken by the person arresting him or the relief commander to the nearest facility for treatment. He won't be allowed to be in the cells without treatment.
Uma umuntu eza esiphoyiseni alimele uyavunyelwa na ukuthi angahle afakwe esiphoyiseni noma emaseleni uthi lo muntu loyo kwamele athathwe ayisiwe endaweni eseduze la ezonyangwa khona.
And then also in Pretoria Court, I can only speak about Pretoria Court, my lord, is that they don't accept any detainees with injuries at the court as well.
Futhi enkantolo yase Pretoria abavumeli abantu abasolwa ukuthi beze balimele
Except if that person was treated by a medical practitioner.
ngaphandle kokuthi lo muntu wayekade ehlangene nodokotela.
Is this practice only confined to the Pretoria court?
I don't think so, my lord. I think it's pertaining to every magistrate court.
Manje le ndaba le ihlangana kuphela nani inkantolo zase Pretoria uthi cha angikholwa lokho ngokuthi inkantolo ngicabanga ukuthi zonke inkantolo.
And are there any guidelines, any circulars, any instructions that are in place regarding how injured detainees are dealt with?
Everything in the South African Police Service got either a national instruction or a standing order. So the rules and regulations pertaining to detainees and every other aspect of the South African Police Service is clearly defined in the national instructions as well as the standing orders.
Ikhona mhlawumbe imithetho ethize ukuthi ibhaliwe uthi yonke into esiphoyiseni nemithetho yakhona noma mhlawumbe eminye imithetho ukuthi silibele sinikwa yona uma silibele sisebenza kodwa imithetho ikhona nemigomo yakhona.
Pertaining to medical treatment, there's a national instruction 8 of 2016 that was issued, and that's relevant to all the police stations in the whole of South Africa.
Uma kukhulunywa ngokuyohlolwa noma ngokuthi umuntu ayisiwe kudokotela ukhona umthetho owakhishwa ngo-2016 oyikuthi owama police station wonke ala eMzansi Afrika.
Yes. Any other national instruction?
There's also pertaining to people detained at the police station, there's also a national instruction 11 of 2019.
khona omunye umthetho nawo oyikuthi uye wakhishwa ngo-2019 ukhishelwa ama-police station wonke
That's talking about treatment of people in custody.
okhulunywa ngokuphathwa kwabantu abaphakathi esitokisini noma emaselini
as well as the transportation of detainees.
nokuhanjiswa kwabo nabo bantu.
I just want to show you a document. Can you just identify that document?
This is the National Instruction 8 of 2016 pertaining to medical treatment and hospitalization of person in police custody.
Lencwadi onke yona incwadi ekhuluma ngokuphathwa kwabantu abalimele noma abantu abadinga unyango abaphakathi esiphoyiseni.
If you can turn to page 2 there. Can you just put the relevant portions on record? What is the procedure in dealing with such detainees?
Thank you, my lord. The paragraph 3 of the National Instruction 8 of 2016, medical treatment of a person in police custody upon arrest. Once a person, adult or child, has been arrested, the arresting member has a legal duty to take care of the arrested person and to ensure that medical treatment is provided.
Just a minute.
Uyafunda ke ukuthi nango umuntu ma elethwe esiphoyiseni kuumuntu omdala noma kuumntwana nomuntu lo omlethayo osebenza esiphoyiseni unolungelo lokuthi yena amyise lo muntu ukuthi ayobonana nodokotela uma ingabe edinga ukunyanga.
Medical treatment is provided to the arrested person whenever necessary.
Ukuthi lo muntu uma edinga ukuthi ayobonana nodokotela noma aye esibhedlela kwamele ayiswe.
Paragraph 2 is if the arrested person show any signs that he or she is seriously ill or seriously injured,
Futhi uma lo muntu oboshiwe ebonisa ukuthi yena uyagula noma ulimele
irrespective of whether the injury was sustained during the arrest or not, the member concerned must
kungakhathalizeki ukuthi lo muntu lo ulimele ngalesikhathi eboshwa noma cha
exercise his or her discretion and decide whether the person should be taken for medical treatment even before he is taken to the police station.
kwamele iphoyisa lona lisebenzise ingqondo yalo noma ukubona kwakhe ukuthi lo muntu kwamele ayobonana nenyanga ngaphambi kokuthi ayisiwe esiphoyiseni na.
If the arrested person, in the opinion of the member concerned, need urgent medical treatment,
Uma ingabe umuntu lo oboshiwe uma iphoyisa limbheka libona ukuthi udinga ukuthi ayolaphiwa
decide whether the person is fit to be transported by police vehicle or should rather be transported by ambulance.
iphoyisa ke lithatha isinqumo sokuthi lo muntu lo kwamele ahanjiswe ngemoto yesiphoyisa noma kubizwe imoto ye-ambulance.
And he, she must then act accordingly.
Bese ke yena ke lelo phoyisa bese lithatha lezo inyathelo.
Paragraph 3 say if a member is in doubt to whether urgent medical treatment attention is needed, he or she should rather take the necessary step to arrange for such treatment.
Uma ingabe ke lelo phoyisa linokungabaza okuthize yena ke kwamele athathe inyathelo ezifanele.
Yes. Is it all that?
I can also, members must ensure that every arrested person before his or her detention, whether he or she is currently being treated for a medical condition,
Maphoyisa futhi kwamele ayenze isiqiniseko sokuthi bayabuza noma bahlole lo muntu oboshwayo ukuthi yena akhona mhlawumbe amakhambi ayikuthi uyawathatha noma kune treatment ayithathayo.
if the arrested person is treated with prescription medication or chronic medication or indicates that he or she suffer from a chronic condition,
uma ingabe lo muntu echaza ke ukuthi akhona amakhambi awathathayo noma uyagula ukugula okungalapheki,
arrangement must be made to collect for the collection of the medication.
amaphoyisa ke wona kwamele ayenze isiqiniseko sokuthi lo muntu loyo uyayenzelwa ukuthi athole lamakhambi wakhe.
Or the person must be taken to a medical service provider in order for the person to be examined and such medication to be obtained, if applicable.
Noma lo muntu kwamele kuhlelwe ukuthi ayisiwe kudokotela ukuze ayothola lawo makhambi lawo noma bamhlelele ukuthi awathole.
Yes, thank you. Any other relevant portions?
Then also paragraph 4, obtaining medical treatment for a person in custody during detention at the police station.
Futhi ke ubonisa la nala ukuthi umuntu uma kutholwa amakhambi wakhe,
If a person in custody on arrival at the police station shows any injury,
uma umuntu mayefika esiphoyiseni ebonisa impawu zokulimala,
appears to be suffering from physical or mental illness,
yena mhlawumbe ebonisa nokuthi kunala ukuthi emzimbeni akazilinganelanga,
fails to react to sensory stimulation or displays a lack of awareness,
yena futhi abonise nokuthi akaboni ukuthi kwenzakalani,
and such person, in the opinion of the Community Service Center commander, needs medical attention,
bese kubonwa ukuthi lo muntu loyo uma iphoyisa libona ukuthi udinga ukuyobonana nodokotela
for the injury or illness. The Community Service Center must
ebonakala ukuthi uyobona lelo phoyisa kwamele liyenze isiqiniseko sokuthi lo muntu ahambe ayo
act as set out in paragraphs 2 and 3 below.
ahambe ayenza lento ebekade ikhulunywe ku paragraph 2 no 3 lebe sifundile.
This also applies if the Community Service Center is in doubt whether medical attention is needed.
Futhi ke nalokho kuyaye kubandakanyiswe uma engabe lo muntu lo sebenza laphayana unokungabaza ukuthi lo muntu lo uyakudinga na ukuhlolwa noma akadingi.
Paragraph 2, subparagraph 2, if a person needs medical attention, the Community Service Center commander must have the person transported.
Uma ingabe umuntu kubonwa ingathi udinga ukuyohlolwa noma ukuyiswa kudokotela kwamele yena ahanjiswe
Either by police vehicle or an ambulance
hanjiswe ngemoto yamaphoyisa noma ngeambulance
to the nearest provincial hospital or call the district surgeon
ayisiwe esibhedlela eseduze noma kubizwe udokotela oseduze.
If no provincial hospital or district is available, call the nearest available appropriate medical service provider.
Uma ingabe singekho isibhedlela eduze lapho kuzawufanele ukuthi kubizwe udokotela oyikuthi uyasetshenziswa lapha.
The station commander must issue station orders informing the members under his or her command of which medical service providers to be utilized for such purposes.
I-station commander ke sona kwamele sichaze noma sitshele laba abasebenza ngaphansi kwakhe ukuthi bangasebenzisa yiphi inyanga noma udokotela.
These orders must at all times be available in the community service center and must be reviewed on a regular basis to ensure effective administration.
Konke lokhu kwamele kuhlale kukhona laphayana la kuvulwa khona amacala futhi amaphoyisa bayenze nesiqiniseko sokuthi bayakulandelela.
If urgent medical attention is not required, but the community service center commander has the opinion that medical attention is necessary,
Uma ingabe kungadingeki ukuthi umuntu angayisiwa esibhedlela noma kudokotela kodwa iphoyisa libona ingathi kuyadingeka,
he or she must make the necessary arrangements to have the person examined at the nearest provincial hospital.
lelo phoyisa kwamele liyenze isiqiniseko sokuthi lo muntu uyathathwa ayohlolwa esibhedlela esiseduze.
or if not available by another medical service provider.
noma uma ingabe singekho isibhedlela lapho lo muntu kwamele ayisiwe kudokotela.
The station commander must ensure that particulars relating to the applicable provincial hospital or other medical service provider
U-station commander kwamele yenze isiqiniseko sokuthi abodokotela noma isibhedlela
that may be utilized for this purpose are at all times available in the community service center.
esingasetshenziswa kwamele sihlale sikhona ulwazi lwakhona laphayana la kuvulwa amacala.
It also say, paragraph 4, all medical consultations must be conducted in private, out of sight and hearing of a member, unless the medical practitioner specifically requests otherwise.
Futhi kwamele lo muntu lo ahlolwe ndaweni ekuthi akugcwalanga abantu ngaphandle kokuthi udokotela esho njalo.
Yes, thanks, Colonel. Any other relevant?
Yes, just paragraph 5, my lord, is recording the steps taken. All steps that were taken in regard to medical treatment of a person or child in police custody
Enye into futhi ukuthi yonke into ethathiwe noma zonke inyathelo ezithathiwe ngalo muntu olethwe esitokisini umuntu omdala noma umntwana
must be fully recorded in the occurrence book.
kwamele zibhalwe phansi kule ncwadi i-occurrence book noma i-OB.
The outcome of any medical examination must similarly be recorded together with the name of the medical service provider.
Nemiphumela yokuthi lo muntu udokotela uthe yini inkinga kwamele ibhalwe futhi naye udokotela noma isibhedlela sibhalwe ukuthi wayekade ehlolwe ngubani noma kwesiphi
And where the examination had taken place.
kubhalwe futhi nokuthi uhlolelwe kuphi.
If more than one entry is required, the different entries must be cross-linked in the occurrence book.
Uma ingabe kudingeka ukuthi kugcwaliswe emakhaseni adlula elinye kwamele ke kuqhubekelwe ngakwelinye ikhasi.
The number of the first entry must be recorded in the custody register.
Bese ke leya nombolo yokuqala lebe kubhalwa kuyo kwamele ibhalwe futhi nakulelinye ikhasi elilandelelayo.
So in other words, Colonel, what you're telling the court is that if the person has been injured, steps will be taken to have that person examined and the details thereof must be entered in the occurrence book.
That's correct.
Manje uthi umuntu uma ingabe ehloliwe noma esiwe kudokotela kwamele kubhalwe phansi lokho bese kuyabhalwa na kuyincwadi i-OB uthi yebo iqiniso.
Yes.
And then paragraph 6, a submission of written report concerning torture to station commander. Paragraph 1,
Uyafunda ke ukuthi uma ingabe umuntu elimyaziwe noma eshayiwe nayi paragraph 1 ithi
whenever a person in custody is examined by a medical service provider provided by the state,
umuntu ongaphakathi esitokisini uma ikuthi uye wahlolwa ehlolwa ngumbuso
the medical practitioner must be requested to supply the station commander with a written report which must include the following.
udokotela kwamele acelwe i-station commander ukuthi amnike i-report yokuthi ubhaleni abhale nalezinto ezilandelelayo.
Any statements made by the person concerned which are relevant to the medical examination,
Statement esiyenzwe yiloyo muntu esihlanganisane na lokuthi bamemhlole
including the description by the person concerned of his or her state of health and any allegation of torture that he or she may have made.
aphinde abhale nokuthi lo muntu lo uthe yena mhlawumbe ushayiwe noma ulinyaziwe.
A description of the objective medical findings based on the medical examination,
Aphinde abhale udokotela ukuthi yena udokotela uboneni kulo muntu.
the conclusions of the medical practitioner in the light of subparagraph A and B.
Abhale nokuthi isinqumo sakhe yena ubona ukuthi lo muntu lo ugula uphethwe yini noma kwenzakalani naye.
Whenever a complaint regarding torture is made to a medical service provider by a person in police custody,
uma ingabe umuntu olethwiwe noma oboshiwe atshela udokotela
and the medical service provider is of the opinion that the examination revealed indications to tend to confirm such allegations,
yena udokotela bese ubona ukuthi lezinto lezi lo muntu azishoyo ziyahambiselana,
the community service center commander or station commander must request the medical practitioner to send a copy of the written report to the nearest office of the Independent Police Investigative Directorate.
iphoyisa leli elisebenza la kuvulwa khona amacala kwamele lona licele udokotela ukuthi abhale incwadi ayithumele kumaphoyisa ukuthi ayophenya.
The community service center or station commander must ensure that the matter is reported in accordance with paragraph 4 of the National Instruction 6 of 2014, the prevention and combating of torture of persons.
Futhi lokho kwamele kuhlanganwe nomthetho siseko oyikuthi wabekwa ngokushawa nokulinyazwa kwabantu ababoshiwe.
The written report received by the station commander must be filed with the relevant warrant and body receipts.
Bese
Remand
ke
warrant.
uye umkhani
Yes.
Detention with the following: Musi September Sibana,
uthi umuntu obekalethiwe uyena umuzi Sithemba Sibana,
SAPS 14/5/7/2020,
wabhalwa ke nenombolo ukuthi yena wayekade evalelwe ngakweyiphi nombolo,
SAPS 14A R1394878.
kubhalwe ke futhi nayo leyo nombolo ye 1394878.
Charged possession of illegal ammunition,
wayekade ethweswe amacala wokuba nenhlavu ezingekho emthethweni.
next of kin informed,
Umuntu owakubo watshelwa
sorry my lord, I can't read this word. And
In any case, Marata, see we close to the normal sitting time. Can we adjourn at this stage to see the witnesses so struggling with the heat in this courtroom?
Is the camera available tomorrow?
that's correct.
Okay, we adjourn until tomorrow 10.